Welcome to Andy Reviews Candy. My name's Andy, and I review candy.
Andy Reviews Candy!
Today we're taking a look at something very different than usual. This is a compilation of candy put together by Sweetwater. For those of you who don't know what Sweetwater is an online retailer of musical instruments and pro audio equipment. So what does Sweetwater have to do with candy, you may ask?
Jack shit.
Well, every time you order from Sweetwater, they send you a little bag of candy. And you know on this show, we like candy. If you're familiar with this show, you probably know that I mainly review chocolate, because that's what I know about. But I've gotten a lot of requests to do stuff that isn't chocolate. Well, most of this isn't chocolate, so I think this is a great opportunity. I do want to point out, though, that stuff like hard candy and taffy isn't my expertise. With that said, I am still going to do my best to give a fair review. Just to make this clear, I am not sponsored by Sweetwater. I wish I was sponsored by Sweetwater, but I am not. Finally, before I dive in, I want to make it clear that if this candy turns out to be bad, it's not Sweetwater's fault. I am very grateful that they'd even send any candy at all. Let's see what we got. I'm sure the contents are different in every package. From the package I received, I had 1 Tootsie Roll, 1 pack of American Smarties, 2 Atomic Fireballs, 1 Bito Honey, and 3 Peppermint hard candies. Let's start with the one chocolate thing. A Tootsie Roll. I'm sure all of you have had a Tootsie Roll at some point in your life. I'm not exactly sure how to describe a Tootsie Roll. I guess it's kind of like taffy, but chocolate, but it's not really taffy. I'm sure all of you have had it anyway, so it probably doesn't really matter. The Tootsie Roll itself is a brown lump. That's pretty much all I can say about it. The interior is also brown. That's because a Tootsie Roll is one solid thing. Let's give it a taste. I know not everyone likes Tootsie Rolls, but I must say, I am a fan. Eating a Tootsie Roll is really like no other experience. It's chewy chocolate, which you don't really find. It's not fudge. It's not taffy. It's an in-between. It's very sweet, and I think it's a unique product, and I really like it. With that said, it doesn't make it the best thing in the world, but it's above average in my mind. Next up, we have American Smarties. For those of you not in the loop, Smarties outside the US are, well, they're M&Ms. Personally, I think people outside the US are missing out on this one because I really like Smarties. For a candy that's pretty much 99.9999% sugar, I think they're really good. Besides, M&Ms aren't hard to find, so why not have both? Let's take a peek inside. It looks the same as the outside. Smarties come in a variety of colors, and unlike the Smarties outside the US, they're different flavors. With that, Smarties are still one of those candies where it doesn't really matter what their flavors are, because you just grab a bunch and eat them. In the end, Smarties are sugar. That's about it. Smarties may just be sugar, but some are tart, some are sweet. It's a good time, it's a good mix.
You could call them sweet tarts.
Honestly though, I think Smarties are much better than Sweet Tarts. Sweet Tarts, I think, are too tart. For a solid sugar candy, Smarties get the job done. Of course, they're still just average. Next up, we've got Atomic Fireballs. Atomic Fireballs are essentially a cinnamon-flavored jawbreaker. They're cinnamony hot on the outside, but after a couple minutes, it's just sugar, and you want to spit it out. Of course, that doesn't mean the initial first experience is bad. So let's open it up. Let's get this thing open. Well, this is probably good enough, because that white is just sugar, and it looks like that the whole way through. Let's give it a taste. Personally, I like cinnamon, so I like these, but there's much better cinnamon candies out there, and you're honestly better just chewing cinnamon-flavored gum. These aren't terrible, they're just whatever. Next up, we have Bito Honey. This is one that, honestly, I haven't had in forever, and I don't really remember what it is. I'm assuming it's basically honey-flavored taffy. So this is kind of a new experience for me. Let's open it up. I love how all these I can just pull the tabs on the sides. I'm sorry, that just looks gross. It's like, I guess it's just taffy, but it's pretty ugly looking taffy. It definitely smells like honey, I can give you that much. However, I'll see what it tastes like. This doesn't taste like honey. It tastes like a honey-flavored graham cracker. Like, that's the exact taste in my mouth right now. Of course, it chews like taffy. It's not the chewiest taffy. It's actually less chewy than a Tootsie Roll. But, yeah, honestly, I like graham crackers, but I don't want them in my candy. I'm not feeling this one. Last but not least, we have a classic non-branded peppermint hard candy. These can actually be tricky because they do taste different depending on the brand. I'm assuming this is like a Tootsie brand one, but you know, it's hard to tell. Some are better than others. Maybe I'll do a special on a bunch of them sometime. Who knows? Probably won't. We'll see. Well, I like these, but kind of pretty much everyone likes these. They're just... Well, I guess if you don't like peppermint, you won't like them. But, you know, they're just generic candies. This is not working. There we go. Inside the hard candy, you'll just see white. No red. When I was younger, I used to think the red was actually the flavoring, but no, it's not. It's all the same. It's just decoration, which is... I don't know, it's dumb. Anyway, I guess I'll eat it now. Tastes like peppermint. There's not much more to say. One thing that is nice about these, though, is because they're a softer hard candy, unlike the Fireball, you can both suck on them, but it's easy to just bite into it. Of course, then it gets stuck in your teeth, so dentists probably don't recommend it. So don't do it, kids. These, again, like everything else I mentioned, are essentially a classic. Just an average, everyday, fully sugar classic. So, average